Hi, welcome to story time. Okay, so one of the expectations that you're going to have at your station is to read through a historical fiction storybook, a small one like this, and you're going to try to show me evidence from the text how one of the characters in the story possesses one of the same personality traits that you wrote on your big index cards earlier this week. Now, for an example, I'm trying to pick words that I feel you wouldn't pick because they don't necessarily make you think of courage, but I picked them because I feel they are accurate in describing some of my character traits. And I'm going to read this book and we're going to see what we can find. And I'll show you how to take evidence from this text and apply it to a character. This story is called Peach and Blue. One still summer afternoon, a large blue-bellied toad wandered away from his pond at the bottom of a small hill. He jumped through the grass, leaping high over the snake holes, and climbed up and up and up to the hilltop. There he rested in the shade of a tree and looked out over the pond below. A raindrop fell on his head. He searched the sky for heavy stone-colored clouds, but there were no clouds at all. A few moments later, he felt another drop. This time he looked directly above him into the tree. At the end of a thick, knobby branch, he saw a peach with her eyes tightly shut. More drops fell onto his head. "Excuse me," called the toad. The peach opened her eyes. "I'm Blue," he said. "It's nice to meet you." "I'm Peach," said the peach, surprised. "What are you doing here?" "I came to see the view. Tell me, why are you crying?" "The summer's almost over. That means I'm warm, round, and red from the sun, and I've grown all I'll ever grow." Peach looked a moment in the tree. "This home is my tree, but I love my tree. I wish I could see what the rest of the world is like. I want to feel grass, I want to touch animals, I want to lie down and look up at the stars. But I'm stuck to this branch, and I won't go anywhere until it's too late. Soon I'll be picked and made into a cobbler or a tart, or eaten all at once by some stranger." Blue shuddered. Now, here in this part of the book, I'm seeing evidence that Peach possesses one of the same character traits that I feel I possess, which is curiosity, or being curious. Now, on my card, I would write, Peach is curious because she wants to see what the rest of the world looks like. Specifically, animals. She wants to touch grass. She wants to lie down and look up at stars. So that is direct textual evidence that Peach possesses the characteristic of curiosity. Let's keep reading and see what else we can find. "I wish I could walk," Peach said. "Then I'd walk right down this tree and into the fields. Is it nice by your pond?" "It's all right," said Blue. He told her about the moss and the ducks and the mosquitoes. He spoke of the leaves and the trees and the stone bench on one side. He described his brothers and sisters, all 13 brothers and 15 sisters. How'd you like a family like that? Peach came from a large family too. She was related to all the fruits on the tree, but none of the other peaches seemed interested in the world. Only Peach showed her face to the sun and the wind and the rain. Blue walked around the base of the tree. He thought about tarts and cobblers, and he wondered what they were. He thought about Peach being on the ground. "I'm not scared to fall," she said. A quick breeze suddenly caught Peach's branch. Blue watched her sway in the wind. She swung out high, came down low, swung back out high, and almost tipped off the branch. "Stay there," said Blue. "I have an idea." And he disappeared down the hill. The next afternoon, Blue returned with his brothers and sisters. One by one, they jumped onto each other's backs, forming a tower. Blue sprang up last and landed directly beneath Peach. Then he stretched his arms around her, clasped her tightly, and pulled with all his might. Snap! Peach flew from the tree. "Peach!" yelled Blue. "Wait! I can't!" screamed Peach as she rolled down the hill. Blue and his brothers and sisters leaped after her. The hill leveled out near the bottom, though, and Peach slowed to a stop on her own, right at the edge of the pond. "Are you okay?" yelled Blue from high up the hill. "Fine," called Peach. "Don't move," warned Blue. "I won't," said Peach. When they reached the pond, Blue's brothers scurried behind a stump and returned carrying a small bowl made of twigs and mud, with lily leaves on the bottom. Carefully, they lifted Peach and set her inside. "We made this for you," they said. Peach gingerly felt the mud, the lilies, and the twigs. "Thank you," she said. With a helpful shove from his sisters, Blue pushed the bowl of the sticky, muddy bank and onto the grass. There it glided easily. "I will be your legs," said Blue, behind Peach. "We will walk wherever you want to go." Peach opened her eyes wide. Now, this part here shows evidence that Blue possesses the character trait of being caring. Now, it doesn't say specifically Blue is caring, but we can infer that because he's going through all of this trouble to make a nest for Peach and get his brothers and sisters to pile up high and to push her around, that he cares about her happiness. So this is implied evidence that Blue is a caring creature. So I would write that on my card. Blue cares about Peach because he makes her a nest, he pushes her around in it, and he got his brothers and sisters to pile up into a tower and pull her down. So Blue cares about her happiness. Let's keep reading. "Oh my," she exclaimed, "it's a harvest of colors." Blue looked at the damp old earth. "What do you see?" Peach began. "The green of the moss, the reeds, the grass, the red of my skin, of the ladybug's back, the blue of your belly, of afternoon sky, the brown of the bank, of the eider duck's eye, the white of swans, the kingfisher's eggs, the cream of the cocoons of the whippoorwill's legs, the silver of trout, the damselfly's wings, the beautiful colors of beautiful things." "You never told me about them," said Peach. "I never saw them before," said Blue. They circled the pond the whole afternoon. They bumped over branches, slid down mud slips, bobbed in the reed bed. And Peach, all the while, discovered a pond that Blue had never seen. When the sun began to fall, Blue set Peach gently in the water. He crawled to a lily pad and tied the bowl to its flower. Together they watched the yellow and orange bows of the sun unfold over the field. When all that was left was the moon, the two of them drifted in the dark, live night. Shadows played off the pond. Crackling noises came from the bush. A brim leaped and splash scattered waves and water over Peach and Blue. "Would you like to sit on the bench for a spell?" Blue asked. Peach nodded. Blue called to his friend, the kingfisher, and asked if she could help lift Peach to the bench. In an instant, Peach was flying through the air. "Thank you," she said when she landed, bounce, 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 on the stone. The kingfisher gave her a soft old feather to sit on. "Pleasure's mine," said the bird, "but you rest up now. Seem a mite pale to me. Maybe you need some supper." The kingfisher looked at Blue, then puffed out her chest and flew away. Immediately, Blue scooped some water with a lily cup. He sprinkled a few drops over Peach, and even in the darkness saw the color come back to her skin. She had been tired. Next, he tore a branch from a willow, making sure that one end was dripping with tree milk, and gave this to Peach as he settled beside her. "It's not from a peach tree," he said, "but it's almost as good. Our willows are strong trees." Now right here, this shows evidence that Blue possesses the personality trait of maternalness. What that means is you kind of have a tendency to mother people or things. And in this case, Blue is mothering Peach. And the evidence is that he is feeding her, making sure she is comfortable, providing for her needs, much like a mother would do for a child. So this evidence shows that Blue is maternal. And it's pretty explicit. I could state on my card, Blue possesses the quality of being maternal because he is feeding Peach sap from a willow tree, and he is pouring water over her to keep her from being flush, and he is making sure that she is comfortable by giving her a feather to sit on and putting his arm around her and keeping her safe. Peach smiled and sat up straighter. She rocked a bit into the night breeze, and Blue wrapped his arm around her so that she wouldn't slip away. He looked at the great world about them. "You've shown me a special place," he said. Then he asked softly, "Do you miss your tree?" "Yeah," said Peach, "but I'm much happier now." She relaxed in the crook of Blue's arms. "I wish I could stay here a while." "You could stay here forever if you like," said Blue. "I'd like you to." I don't think I'll last forever, said Peach. That's okay, said Blue. Not many folks do. But until then, you have me, and I have you. Now, when you find evidence for your cards, you won't be reading a story like this. You'll be reading a historical fiction. It'll be short, there'll be illustrations, but it'll be about relevant pieces of information from United States history. And there's a reason for that. Now, of course, you'll be finding evidence to match the personality traits that you wrote on your cards that you feel you possess. And you will already have or be getting ready to write down how you possess that quality and trait. But in this station, you're going to be looking for that evidence in the text of the book you choose to read. If you can't find evidence for all of your character traits in one book, that's okay. Just put that one aside and grab a different one. As long as you're citing textual evidence, you're meeting the standard.